Terry Gou says he was instructed to enter politics in a dream sent by the sea goddess Mazu. That year, Gou was one of the 5 contenders vying for nomination by the main opposition Kuomintang, or KMT. He stepped down as FoxConn chief to run, but stayed on the board.
An interesting connection between politics and religion, something that, as an American, I see this a lot in the United States. People want their presidential candidates to be God-fearing people, citizens of the country. Is this common to see a connection between politics and religion here in Taiwan, Ed?
Yeah, I wouldn't say that it's common for them to say God has appeared in a dream or something like that, but it's certainly very common for politicians to go and visit temples and other community religious spots like that. It's probably one of the main places where they actually go to try and drum up support, drum up donations. So yeah, it's definitely a common part of life here.
I'm Andrew Ryan, and I'm here today with 2 more reporters from our newsroom. We have Tiffany Wong and also Ed Moon. How are you guys doing today?
Good.
Yeah.
Excited to be here.
Both Tiffany and Ed have met him in person. What's he like in a room full of people?
I think he does stand out. He's a businessman, and when he was running in the KMT primaries before, he was competing against 4 other potential candidates. But he was definitely very ruthless, and he actually made it to runner-up in those primaries, second to Han Kuo-yu, who eventually lost the presidency. So I think he's definitely a strong competitor in this way.
And how about you, Ed? What is your feeling about what he's like in person?
I agree with Tiffany. He really has a presence, which is what you would probably expect from somebody who's built up such a hugely successful company as FoxConn, someone who's interacted with world leaders from Xi Jinping to Donald Trump. So he's someone who's not afraid to be on the big stage. When I've been reporting on him, he's always followed by a huge press pack. Wherever he goes, pretty much has a microphone in his face. But he took the time to speak to most of the reporters individually as well, which I think is something that you don't necessarily see from all politicians.
Does he have star appeal? Like, does he know how to work a room and kind of have that kind of star presence?
Yeah, I would say so. Yes, definitely. Yeah.
Okay.
He's very much someone who knows what it takes to sort of succeed at the elite level in Taiwan.
Okay, and of course that's the brand that he's also hoping to build on, the brand of a tycoon, of a CEO of a corporation, somebody who knows how to get things done. Today is a very important day for the Gou campaign. He has to submit 290,000 signatures so that he can run for president.
Independent candidates for president in Taiwan need to prove they have enough support to be in the race. That's measured in signatures from eligible voters. Gou has until November the 2nd to get nearly 300,000 signatures. If he reaches that goal, he'll face off against 3 other candidates.
Now, Ed, you were actually there yesterday when I guess he beat us to it. We all thought he was going to do it today, but he actually went early yesterday. Tell me what it was like seeing him submitting those. It must have been boxes and boxes of signatures.
Well, so here's the thing. He didn't actually let the media in to see him give these boxes. They said that because of rules over impartiality, Taipei city government wouldn't allow it.
Okay.
So they sent us pictures of him handing over these boxes. But what we did get was a very brief press appearance outside, where he said, he was delighted. That was a very important day for him. We have just seen the billionaire founder of FoxConn, Terry Gou, go into this building to deliver the almost 300,000 signatures needed to run as a presidential candidate in Taiwan's January presidential election.
今天呢是一个非常重要的日子，台湾人民追求民主自由的心声。
It's the latest step on what has been a long journey for Gou. He originally wanted to run as the opposition Kuomintang candidate, but when they picked someone else, he decided to go it alone. Yeah, his team seems confident that they've reached this number, 290,000, but they haven't actually, as of yet, announced how many they think they got,
Okay.
how many signatures. So we're still waiting to hear.
And when are we going to hear officially whether or not he made his goal?
I believe we're going to hear on November 14th.
November 14th.
Yes, that's when we're going to get the official announcement of whether he has submitted enough valid signatures, and that means that they have to be real people no duplicate signatures. So the government's going to check all of that. And if they found it's fine, then it will be announced November 14th.
Terry Gou and his campaign are running into some other problems in the process of gathering signatures. Have a look at this report.
But efforts to reach this goal have hit some snags. The most recent was in Changhua in central Taiwan. There, investigators say a fraud ring bought the personal information of hundreds of people to forge signatures. It follows multiple other accusations of fraud. Just days earlier, authorities in the southern county of Pingdong questioned more than 20 people suspected of running a signature buying scheme for Guo's campaign.
本属于近日接获屏东县潮州地区有以现金新台币200元不等价格换取某总统候选人联署书之情资。
Guo's campaign has responded to the reports, saying those involved were acting on their own.
我们在10月初的时候，联署就已经过30万份了。突然爆发出各个地方有这些涉嫌买票的案件，这不是我们官方的站点。
Guo says he and his running mate Tammy Lai will fight until the end.
Do you think his inclusion on the official ballot, so if Terry Gou does get enough signatures, is put on the ballot, does register for president, do you think that will significantly change this race?
When we look at the polling numbers, he's polling around 10%, which is quite a low amount. The conventional wisdom is that his supporters are also more inclined to be co-supporters or host supporters. So when a candidate is polling that low in Taiwan, what we often see is when it comes to voting day, the voters will just switch to more popular candidates, trying to help them. So I think what his influence on the race is not likely to be as large as people might think.
Terry Gou is actually not only dealing with the signature drama, he's also facing some other issues, particularly in connection with his company, FoxConn. Have a look at this report.
With Taiwan's presidential elections coming up, what do you make of China's timing with this investigation into FoxConn?
Well, there's several things we can draw from the timing of the investigation. One is that Beijing is continuing to crack down on foreign firms, including tech firms. And this has been a trajectory that's been going on for a while. The other is, of course, the fact that we are nearing the presidential election in Taiwan, and this would be in early January, where Terry Gou will be running.
What do the two of you make of the timing of this investigation into his company?
It's confusing a bit. Terry Gou has FoxConn factories in China, and before, when he was running under the during the KMT primaries, he was seen as more of a China-aligned candidate because of his business connections in China. So it's quite strange that it seems maybe China is trying to deter his run.
What do you think, Ed?
Yeah, no, I agree. It is quite strange, especially as Gou has promoted quite a lot of policies saying that he wants to closer links with China, to have a peace agreement with China. So you'd think China would be backing his bid, but it seems not.
Some of the conventional wisdom early on was that perhaps he was even being encouraged to run for president. So to now see his company being investigated, that has definitely surprised many people. And in fact, he's largely stayed out of the news since that investigation, or the news of the investigation, broke, I think more than a week ago. Tiffany, what % chance does Terry Gou have of running all the way until the election?
I will say, if he has managed to get these signatures, 100%. He's been slighted by the KMT before. He lost the primaries in 2019. And again, this time, he did try to kind of get the KMT's support. But as we know, he is running as an independent. So I think he really wants to push through and, chase the dream that Mazu sent him.
All right. Good answer. Ed, what do you think?
I'm gonna disagree with Tiffany on this one. I would say 30% or so. I think this signature drive for him is a chance to give himself a strong hand to play in negotiations with either Ho or Kerr to try and get more power in a potential government to come. He's a big boss of a huge company. He doesn't like to lose. And if he sees these polling numbers, he knows he's going to lose if he runs.
Do you think the China investigation is going to have any impact on his decision to run or not?
It's possible. I mean, he hasn't given interviews to the media since these allegations, this investigation even from China came out. And if he's unwilling to face the media about it, then that tells me that he's worried.
So the question that we leave you with is Terry Gou in it to win it? If we have any more thoughts on that, we'll share it with you in an upcoming episode of The Scoop. On behalf of Tiffany Wong and Ed Moon, I'm Andrew Ryan. Take care. We'll see you next time.